Living alone isn't about isolation. It's about finally living life on your own terms. It's about waking up each morning knowing that every decision is yours to make. No compromises, no obligations, just peace, control, and the space to be truly yourself. But how do you know if solo living is the right choice for you? Have you ever craved quiet moments, away from the noise and responsibilities of others? Do you feel more at ease when you have time to yourself? Are you starting to realize that your happiness doesn't depend on anyone else's presence? If any of these resonate with you, then this video is for you. Today, we'll uncover 12 powerful signs that indicate you're ready to embrace living alone, and why this decision can be one of the most freeing and fulfilling choices you ever make. And make sure you watch until the end, because the last sign is the one that could completely change how you see your future. 1. You crave peace and quiet more than ever. Margaret, 67, spent most of her life surrounded by family. Her home was always filled with the sounds of children laughing, conversations at the dinner table, and the occasional chaos that comes with a full house. She loved it. She thought she needed it. But something changed as she got older. One afternoon, after a particularly noisy weekend visit from her grandchildren, she sat down in her favorite chair, took a deep breath, and realized something profound. She felt more at peace in the silence than she had in years. It wasn't that she didn't love her family. She adored them. But she also realized that peace and quiet weren't just luxuries. They were necessities for her well-being. If you find yourself cherishing moments of solitude, if the sounds of a busy household feel more draining than energizing, or if you long for a space where you can hear your own thoughts without interruption, then this might be a sign. Living alone could give you the tranquility and balance you truly crave. Chapter 2. You enjoy your own company. Have you ever spent an entire day alone and loved every minute of it? For John, 73, that realization came unexpectedly. After retiring, he found himself with long stretches of time and no set schedule. Instead of feeling lonely, he started gardening in his backyard, a hobby he had never explored before. Hours would pass as he tended to his plants, feeling completely at peace, immersed in the quiet rhythm of nature. At first, his friends and family worried. "Aren't you lonely?" they would ask. But John never saw it that way. He wasn't avoiding people. He was simply enjoying his own presence. He had spent decades in a busy household, constantly surrounded by others. Now, he found fulfillment in choosing how he spent his time without compromise or interruption. If you love having full control over your day, if you find joy in simple moments of solitude, reading a book, taking a walk, enjoying a quiet morning coffee, then living alone may be the perfect lifestyle for you. It's not about isolation. It's about embracing your own company and truly enjoying it. 3. You have strong boundaries and value your space. For years, Liz, 70, loved having her daughter and grandkids stay over. The house was always lively, filled with laughter and activity. But over time, she began to notice something. She felt drained rather than fulfilled. Her once quiet mornings with coffee and a book were replaced by chaotic breakfasts. Late-night TV at full volume disrupted her sleep, and worst of all, she found herself constantly adjusting her routines to accommodate others. One day, after a particularly exhausting weekend of babysitting, she realized something. She wasn't living in her own home on her own terms anymore. She adored her family, but she also valued her peace, her routines, and her need for solitude. So, she made a decision. It was time to reclaim her space. She gently but firmly set boundaries, letting her daughter know that while visits were welcome, she needed time for herself. She transformed her home into a sanctuary that suited her needs: quiet mornings, peaceful evenings, and the ability to come and go as she pleased without feeling responsible for others. If you find yourself constantly compromising your comfort, your time, or your energy for others, it may be a sign that you're ready for a home that truly reflects your needs. Living alone isn't about shutting people out. It's about prioritizing yourself in a way that allows you to thrive. 4. You want complete control over your space and schedule. For years, Susan, 68, lived with her sister. They got along well. But little things started to wear on her. Adjusting the thermostat to suit someone else's comfort, waiting until her sister was ready to eat before having dinner, and sharing the TV remote when all she wanted was to watch her favorite show uninterrupted. One evening, as she sat down to read, she realized something. She was tired of compromising on the little things. She wanted to eat when she was hungry, set the house temperature to what she preferred, and arrange her space exactly how she liked it, without worrying about someone else's opinion. So, she took the leap. She moved into a smaller home just for herself, decorated it to her taste, and set her daily routine entirely on her own terms. Now, she enjoys her meals whenever she pleases, leaves the house as messy or tidy as she wants, and never has to negotiate over whose turn it is to do the dishes. If you find yourself wishing for more autonomy over your home, your time, and your choices, it may be a sign that living alone is the perfect next step. No more compromising, just your space, your rules, your way. 5. You've outgrown the role of caretaker. For years, Nancy, 74, dedicated her life to others. She raised 3 children, cared for her aging husband through his final years, and always put everyone's needs before her own. But once her children moved out and her caregiving responsibilities ended, she found herself at a crossroads. One evening, she sat in her quiet house and asked herself, "What do I truly want now?" For the first time in decades, she didn't have to cook for anyone else, run errands on someone's behalf, or plan her days around another person's needs, and it felt freeing. Nancy made a decision. It was time to put herself first. She moved into a smaller home, created a space just for her, and started exploring hobbies she had put on hold for years: painting, reading, and even taking a solo vacation. If you've spent most of your life caring for others and now feel the urge to focus on your own happiness, peace, and well-being, that's a powerful sign. Living alone doesn't mean you love your family any less. It means you're finally allowing yourself to live for you. 6. You want to age on your own terms. Aging doesn't have to mean giving up independence. For many, it's about striking the perfect balance between having freedom and ensuring security. Take Tom, 75. He had spent years living with his family, but as he got older, he realized he wanted more control over his daily life. He didn't want to rely on his children for every little thing, nor did he want to be placed in a facility before he was ready. Instead, he took charge of his own aging process. Tom made a plan. He downsized to a smaller, low-maintenance home that fit his needs. He set up a part-time caregiver, not because he needed constant help, but to assist with things like grocery shopping and home maintenance. He installed smart home technology, like motion sensor lights and a medical alert system, to give himself peace of mind while living alone. Most importantly, he made sure his friends and family knew his wishes, so he could continue living life his way for as long as possible. Living alone doesn't mean being alone. It means choosing when and how you receive help, rather than having someone else make the decisions for you. If you've ever worried about losing control over your life as you age, know this: living alone can be a powerful way to maintain independence while still staying safe and supported. Chapter 7. Managing home maintenance alone can feel overwhelming. Living alone comes with freedom, but it also comes with responsibilities. At 50, fixing a leaky faucet or changing a light bulb was no big deal. But at 80, climbing ladders or lifting heavy objects can quickly become a challenge. Take Linda, 80. She had always been independent, but as the years passed, she realized that keeping up with home repairs, yard work, and general upkeep was becoming exhausting. She didn't want to burden her children, But she also knew she couldn't do everything alone. So, she took control. She created a home maintenance checklist, breaking tasks into seasonal categories: spring cleaning, gutter maintenance, heating checks before winter. She hired a handyman twice a year to take care of the heavier jobs, like fixing leaks, cleaning gutters, and replacing hard-to-reach light bulbs. She downsized her home to make maintenance easier. Fewer rooms meant less cleaning and fewer repairs. She asked neighbors for recommendations on reliable professionals, ensuring she always had someone to call when needed. Living alone doesn't mean doing everything alone. It means being smart about what you handle yourself and what you delegate. If you love your independence but struggle with home upkeep, consider creating a maintenance plan and getting help for the bigger tasks. You deserve a safe, comfortable space without the stress of handling everything on your own. 8. Loneliness can sneak up on you. Even for introverts. Many people assume that if you enjoy solitude, you'll never feel lonely. But the truth is, everyone needs connection, even those who love their alone time. John, 76, had always been independent. He cherished his quiet mornings and never felt the need to be around people constantly. But after a few months of living alone, he realized something strange. Days would go by without him having a single real conversation. He didn't feel sad, but there was a growing sense of isolation he hadn't expected. Instead of ignoring it, John made a small but powerful change. He set up a morning coffee call with an old friend. Every Monday and Thursday, they'd chat for 15 minutes while drinking their morning coffee. He joined a local senior walking group, not for deep friendships, but just to have casual conversations with familiar faces. He made a rule to say hello to at least 3 people whenever he ran errands, whether it was the grocery store cashier or a neighbor walking their dog. At first, these changes felt insignificant, but within a few weeks, John noticed something. His days felt lighter. He still had his cherished alone time, but those small moments of connection gave him something to look forward to. Living alone doesn't mean living in isolation. It's about finding a balance between solitude and connection, on your own terms. If you love your independence but sometimes feel a little too disconnected, consider scheduling regular calls, joining a casual social group, or even just engaging in small conversations throughout your day. A little connection goes a long way. 9. It's easy to let self-care slip. When you live alone, there's no one around to remind you to eat properly, stay active, or keep up with doctor's appointments. It's easy to tell yourself, "I'll cook tomorrow," or "I don't really need to go for that walk today." But over time, small habits like these can add up, leading to poor health, low energy, and even feelings of isolation. Barbara, 72, realized this after retiring and moving into her own place. At first, she loved the freedom. No one telling her what to do, no schedule to follow. But soon, she noticed she was skipping meals, watching too much TV, and barely getting outside. She decided to make a change. Instead of waiting for motivation, she built simple self-care habits into her daily routine. Meal planning. She prepped easy, healthy meals on Sundays so she never had to rely on frozen dinners. Daily walks. Every morning at 9 a.m., she took a 15-minute walk, rain or shine. It became her non-negotiable me time. Health check-ins. She scheduled all doctor's appointments in advance and set phone reminders so she never missed one. Social interaction. Even on quiet days, she made sure to call or message at least one friend. Within weeks, Barbara felt stronger, happier, and more in control. She still enjoyed her solitude, but now she was thriving instead of just going through the motions. Living alone doesn't mean neglecting yourself. It means taking responsibility for your well-being, and that starts with small, daily habits that keep you healthy and happy. If you find yourself skipping meals, staying indoors too often, or avoiding checkups, it's time to take charge. Set up a routine, plan your meals, and schedule activities that keep you engaged. Your future self will thank you. Chapter 10. You see solitude as an opportunity for growth. For many, living alone can feel isolating, but for those who embrace it, solitude becomes a gift. It's a chance to reconnect with yourself, rediscover old passions, and explore new interests without anyone else's schedule or expectations holding you back. Richard, 76, had always admired artists, but never considered himself creative. After his wife passed, he struggled with the quiet nights, until one evening, he picked up a paintbrush. At first, it was just something to pass the time. But soon, he found himself losing track of hours, completely immersed in the process. Now, Richard paints almost every night. He doesn't follow any rules, doesn't worry about being good at it. He just enjoys the freedom of creating, for himself and no one else. Living alone isn't about being lonely. It's about having the space to grow, evolve, and do what makes you happy. Always wanted to write? Start journaling every morning. Interested in music? Learn an instrument online at your own pace. Want to stay active? Try yoga, gardening, or dance. Whatever feels good. Solitude isn't an emptiness. It's a canvas. Fill it with whatever brings you joy. If you've ever thought, I wish I had more time for myself, this could be your sign to embrace solo living and make the most of it. 11. You've embraced minimalism and simplicity. As we get older, we start to realize that life isn't about collecting more. It's about appreciating what truly matters. Many seniors find themselves overwhelmed by years of accumulated possessions, holding on to things out of habit rather than necessity. But what if letting go could bring more peace, clarity, and even happiness? Take Susan, 74, for example. For decades, she kept everything. Old clothes she no longer wore, gifts she never used, stacks of magazines and furniture that made her home feel cramped. She thought these things held sentimental value, but deep down, they were only adding stress. Then, one day, she had an epiphany. Why am I holding on to things that no longer serve me? That question changed everything. She didn't get rid of everything overnight, but she started small. First, she cleared out her kitchen, donating gadgets she hadn't used in years. Then, she went through her closet, keeping only what she truly loved. Over time, her home transformed from a cluttered space to a place of peace and ease. Minimalism isn't about throwing everything away. It's about making space for what truly matters. How to simplify without feeling overwhelmed. Start small. Choose one drawer, one shelf, or one corner to declutter at a time. Ask yourself, do I use this? Does this bring me joy? If not, it's time to let it go. Donate with purpose. Instead of feeling guilty about parting with things, pass them on to someone who will truly appreciate them. Create a stress-free home. A simpler home means less cleaning, less maintenance, and more time to focus on what you love. Less clutter, less stress, and more freedom. If you find yourself drawn to a simpler life, living alone might be the perfect opportunity to embrace it fully. 12. You're fully at peace with your decision. There comes a time when you stop questioning yourself. No more guilt. No more wondering if you made the right choice. Just a quiet confidence that living alone is exactly what you need. For years, Susan, 78, struggled with the idea of moving out of her longtime home. It was the house where she had raised her children, where every room carried memories of laughter, holidays, and milestones. But as time passed, the house started to feel too big, too empty, and too much work. Cleaning, maintaining the yard, keeping up with repairs, it all became overwhelming. Still, she hesitated. Would moving feel like giving up? Would her family understand? Would she be lonely? After months of debating, Susan took the leap. She found a cozy apartment in a quiet, welcoming community. The first few weeks were an adjustment. Downsizing meant letting go of furniture, old belongings, even the little things she had accumulated over decades. But something unexpected happened. Instead of feeling a loss, she felt relief. Gone were the endless home maintenance tasks. She no longer had to worry about leaky faucets, roof repairs, or shoveling snow. Instead, she woke up each day feeling lighter, freer. Her new space was just hers. Everything in it had a purpose. Every decoration, every book, every piece of furniture was something she truly loved. She no longer felt weighed down by the past. Instead, she felt energized about the future. Most of all, she was at peace. How do you know you're ready? You no longer feel guilty about choosing what's best for you. You cherish the quiet instead of fearing it. You feel more excited about the future than attached to the past. You've created a space that feels like a sanctuary, not a burden. Living alone isn't about isolation, it's about freedom. If you wake up each day knowing that your space, your time, and your life belong completely to you, then you're not just living alone, you're thriving. Living alone isn't about isolation, it's about embracing a life that reflects who you truly are. It's about waking up each day knowing that your time, your space, and your choices are fully your own. For some, that's an exciting thought. For others, it may feel a little daunting. But here's the truth. Living alone can be one of the most fulfilling and empowering experiences of your life. Of course, challenges will come. There may be moments of loneliness, times when you wish you had someone right there to share a thought or a laugh. But with the right mindset and habits, solitude can become a source of peace, growth, and even joy. You now have the freedom to create your own daily routine, one that suits your rhythm and energy. You can pursue passions you never had time for before. Reading, painting, gardening, or simply sitting with a cup of tea and enjoying the stillness. And most importantly, you can build a life that makes you feel at home within yourself. So I want to hear from you. Which of these signs spoke to you the most? Do you already live alone, or are you considering it? What has been your experience? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear your story. And if this video gave you something to think about, be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more insights on how to live your best, most fulfilling life at any age. Remember, this isn't the end of something. It's the beginning of a new chapter. A chapter where you are in control.